সো আমরা লাস্ট ক্লাসে বলছিলাম যে লিসেনিং এর কোশ্চেন প্যাটার্ন কিছুটা সেম। বেসিক্যালি হচ্ছিল ফার্স্ট যেই পার্ট ওয়ানে আপনার হচ্ছে দুইজনের কনভারসেশন থাকবে, ওই কনভারসেশন শুনে শুনে আপনাকে সলভ করতে হবে। বাট নেক্সট নেক্সট যেটা থাকে ওটা মোস্ট অফ দ্য টাইম সেকশন 2 স্টার্টস উইথ এমসিকিউ। একজন স্পিকার হয়তো কোনো একটা, আপনি কোনো একটা স্কুলে ভিজিট করতে গেছেন অর একটা পার্কে গেছেন অর সামথিং, এন্ড কোনো একজন আপনাকে বলবে যে ওই পার্কের হিস্ট্রি সম্পর্কে অর ওই ক্লাবের হিস্ট্রি সম্পর্কে অর ওই হাউসের হিস্ট্রি সম্পর্কে, ইভেন মিউজিয়াম, ইট ক্যান বি এনিথিং that you went to visit, and there will be a person who will describe you about the history, how it started, and it will be, the question will be in MCQ pattern. নর্মালি সেকশন 2 এর পরে এরপরে হয়তো একটা আলাদা কোশ্চেন থাকে 15 to 20, দেন 21 to 25 6 আবার থাকে এমসিকিউ কোশ্চেন। সো এমসিকিউ তে 40 মার্কসের ভিতরে 8 নাম্বারের মতো 100% আপনাকে এমসিকিউ থেকে আসবে। সো এমসিকিউ ভালো আইডিয়া রাখা বেটার। Okay. So MCQ mostly and always forever, there's no exception যে অন্য সময় অন্যটা আসছিল না, ফরএভার আইএলটিএস এর হিস্ট্রি থেকে এমসিকিউ দুই টাইপেরই আসে এন্ড দুইটা টাইপই পরীক্ষায় আসে। এমন হয় না যে আইদার অর, ইটস অলওয়েজ বোথ। একটা হচ্ছে ওয়ান অপশন এমসিকিউ আর একটা হচ্ছে মাল্টিপল অপশন এমসিকিউ। ওয়ান অপশন এমসিকিউ তে আপনার একটা অপশন চুজ করতে হবে, ওইটাতে 1 মার্কস। মাল্টিপল অপশন ওয়েতে নরমালি দুইটা কোশ্চেন দুইটা অ্যান্সার চুজ করতে হবে আপনাকে, প্রত্যেকটা কোশ্চেন সঠিক হলে একটা করে মার্কস। এটা হচ্ছে এক্সাম্পল, আপনারা তো দেখতেছেন ঠিক না? এই এক্সাম্পলে দেখেন প্রথমটা হচ্ছে হলো ওয়ান কোশ্চেন, যেটাতে হচ্ছে হলো বলা হয়েছে যে স্টিনওয়ানসন্স ওয়াজ ফাউন্ডেড ইন, এন্ড এখানে 3টা সাল দেওয়া আছে। এখানে কিন্তু অ্যাগেন লিসেনিং এ কিন্তু আপনার গ্রামার, আপনার ইংলিশের নলেজ, ভোকাবুলারি এগুলো ইম্পর্টেন্ট না। ইটস ইম্পর্টেন্ট হাউ মাচ ইউ ক্যান কনসেন্ট্রেট অর লাইক হাউ মাচ ইউর আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং হোয়াট স্পিকার ইজ সে। আপনার যদি ইংলিশ উইক হয়, আপনার যদি ইংলিশ ধরতে সমস্যা হয়, আপনি যদি লিসেনিং ভাষায় প্র্যাকটিস করতে থাকেন, তাহলে দেখবেন যে হচ্ছে হলো আপনি ওদের কথা বলার প্যাটার্নটা ধরতে পারছেন, তখন আপনার কোনো সমস্যা হবে না। আপনি যদি বুঝেন ওরা এক্স্যাক্টলি কি বলতেছে, তখন আপনার প্রবলেমটা সলভ করতে টাইম লাগবে না। তো মানে সিঙ্গুলার কোশ্চেন খুবই সিম্পল থাকে, যে এই লাইক আই সেড যে পার্কটা কবে ফাউন্ড হয়েছে, এই জিনিসটা কবে ক্রিয়েট করা হয়েছে, অর লাইক যেটা, এটা সিম্পল এমসিকিউ, একটা কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সারে একটা মার্কস। বাট মাল্টিপল কোশ্চেনের যেটা থাকে, যেটা দুইটা আপনাকে পিক করতে হবে, ওখানে মোর দেন 4 অ্যান্সার দেওয়া থাকে, অ্যান্ড স্পিকার উইল গো থ্রু অল 5 অপশন। স্পিকার উইল স্পিক অ্যাবাউট অল 5 অফ দ্য অপশন। সে মানে সিঙ্গেল কোশ্চেনে মাঝে মাঝে ওরা প্রত্যেকটা অপশন টাচ করে, মাঝে মাঝে ওরা জাস্ট আপনাকে বলবে কোনটা রাইট অ্যান্সার, আপনি ওটা ধরে ফেলতে পারবেন এন্ড ইট উইল বি ইজি। বাট মাল্টিপল কোশ্চেনে মোস্ট অর 90% টাইম যখন স্পিকার কথা বলবে, সে আপনাকে প্রত্যেকটা অপশনই বলবে, এন্ড অপশন মেনশন করার মানে এইটা না যে এই অপশনটা রাইট। তারা যখন অপশন গুলো নিয়ে কথা বলতেছে, তারা আপনাকে সিচুয়েশন এক্সপ্লেন করতেছে। ধরেন এখানে বলা আছে যে বোথ জেস এন্ড টম ডিসাইডেড টু চেঞ্জ দ্য প্রপোজাল, হুইচ 2 ওয়েজ। এখানে বলেছে দুইটা ওয়ে, যেটা হচ্ছে হলো জেস এন্ড টম ডিসাইড করছে চেঞ্জ করবে। আর এখানে 5টা অপশন দেওয়া আছে, বাই গিভিং রেশনেবল ফর দেয়ার অ্যাকশন প্ল্যান, বাই বিং লেস স্পেসিফিক অ্যাবাউট দ্য আউটকামস। এই অপশনগুলো না ওরা প্রত্যেকটাই ডিসকাস করবে, এন্ড ওই ডিসকাশনের মাধ্যমে ওরা চুজ করবে যে কোন দুইটা ওরা চেঞ্জ করবে। কিন্তু আপনাদেরকে মনোযোগ দিয়ে এটা শুনতে হবে, এন্ড কোনোটাতে মানে ধরেন যে বলতেছে মেনশন করতেছে, খুশি হয়ে ওটা অ্যান্সার করা যাবে না। ওরা অ্যান্সার গুলো বলতেছে, তার মানে এটা না যে ওরা পিক করতেছে এটাই। এন্ডে গিয়ে ওরা এন্ডে অর ইন বিটুইন তারা চুজ করবে যে কোন দুইটা তারা অ্যাকচুয়ালি চেঞ্জ করতে চায়। বাট ডিসকাস করা হবে সব অপশন। সো এখানে কনসেন্ট্রেশন ধরে প্রত্যেকটা কথা শোনা অনেক ইম্পর্টেন্ট। ওকে, থিংস টু লুক এট। আপনি যখন ওইটা মনোযোগ দিয়ে শুনবেন, মানে এমসিকিউর কোশ্চেন আপনি যদি মক টেস্ট দিয়ে থাকেন, তাহলে দেখবেন যে প্রত্যেকটা মক টেস্টের মানে সেক্টর সেকশনের আগে আপনাকে 1 মিনিটের মতো সময় দেওয়া হবে। অ্যান্ড বলা হবে যে কোশ্চেন প্লিজ রিড দ্য কোশ্চেন 11 to 16। ওই সময় আপনাকে কোশ্চেন গুলো পড়তে হবে। অনেকে কোশ্চেন পড়ে না, বাট কোশ্চেন পড়া অনেক ইম্পর্টেন্ট। কোশ্চেন পড়লে আপনি জানেন যে আপনি কিসের জন্য লুক করতেছেন। সো লুক ফর দ্য টাইটেল। ফার্স্ট থিং ইজ লুকিং ফর দ্য টাইটেল। কোশ্চেনের স্টার্টিং এ কি কোশ্চেন করা হয়েছে, এখানে কি বলা হয়েছে, যে এখানে বলা হয়েছে যে জেসন বোথ বোথ আর লুকিং টু লাইক চেঞ্জ সাম অফ দেয়ার প্রজেক্ট অপশন। তার মানে আপনি এখানে এখানে হচ্ছে হলো টাইটেলের যে লুকটা, এখান থেকে আপনি কিওয়ার্ড যেটা পিক করবেন ওটা ওই টাইটেলে দেওয়া থাকবে। এন্ড এই যে এখানে বলা আছে যে চেঞ্জ করবে 2 ওয়েজ, এটা হচ্ছে কিওয়ার্ড। যে এইখানে এই প্রেজেন্টেশন থেকে ওরা দুইটা জিনিস চেঞ্জ করবে, দুইটা জিনিস অ্যাড করবে না, দুইটা জিনিস চেঞ্জ করবে। যে দুটো জিনিস আগেই লেখা হয়েছে, ওরা আফটার দিস ডিসকাশন ডিসাইড করছে যে এই দুইটা জিনিস আমরা চেঞ্জ করব। সো লুক ফর দ্য কিওয়ার্ড ইন দ্য কোশ্চেন, ইটস ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। দেন যখন আপনি ওদের কথা শুনবেন, আপনি খুব ইজিলি ধরতে পারবেন যে ওরা কি কি চেঞ্জের কথা বলতেছে। এখন আপনি যদি অনেকবার মক টেস্ট দিয়ে থাকেন, তাহলে আমি বলবো যে প্যারাফ্রেজ করাটা খুব ভালো অ্যাডভাইস। যারা নিউ তাদের তাদের এটা করার দরকার নেই। আপনি যদি অ্যাটলিস্ট 3 থেকে 4টা মক টেস্ট অলরেডি নিজে নিজে বাসায় বসে দিয়ে থাকেন, তাহলে আমি বলবো কোশ্চেন প্যারাফ্রেজ করা একটু ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আপনি কোশ্চেনটা পড়ার পর প্যারাফ্রেজ করে যদি আপনার হেডে এটা বাংলায় ট্রান্সলেট করে ঢুকায় ফেলেন, তাহলে আপনি যখন কথাগুলো শুনবেন আপনার জন্য খুব ইজি হবে অ্যান্সারটা খুঁজে বের করা। কোশ্চেন অনেক সময় কমপ্লিকেটেড থাকে, কোশ্চেন অনেক সময় সিম্পল থাকে। যখন এটা সিম্পল কোশ্চেন হবে তখন তেমন কোনো প্যারা নাই, আপনি জাস্ট এটা মনোযোগ দিয়ে শুনে অ্যান্সার বের করে ফেলতে পারবেন, প্যারাফ্রেজ করার দরকার নেই। বাট যখন, আমি জানি না যে আপনাদের ইংলিশ লেভেল কতটুকু ভালো কতটুকু খারাপ, আপনার যদি কেউ মক টেস্ট দেন ওটার মানে রেজাল্টের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে আমি হয়তো বলতে পারবো। বাট যদি আপনি অনেক ভালো স্টুডেন্ট হন এন্ড আপনার টার্গেট থাকে 8 to 8.5, তাহলে আমি বলবো প্যারাফ্রেজ করা বেটার। যখন কোশ্চেনটা পড়বেন, ইন ইয়োর মাইন্ড প্যারাফ্রেজ ইট অ্যাজ সুন অ্যাজ ইউ ক্যান, জাস্ট মেক ইট ইন ইয়োর ওন মাদার টাং or do it in any other way. Paraphrase the question, it will help you, because sometimes they will talk for long time without mentioning the answer. They're just speaking about the project but they're not talking about the answer. So when you paraphrase it in your mind, you already know that যে ওটা যে কোনো ভাবে আসলে এটা আপনার মাথায় ক্যাচ করবে যে ওকে এইটা অ্যান্সার। Paraphrase is very important when you are targeting higher score. It's not important when you're targeting 7 এর জন্য প্যারাফ্রেজ করা লাগবে না, তখন আপনি জাস্ট মনোযোগ দিয়ে শুনেন, মেবি আপনি এটা ক্যাচ করতে পারবেন। বাট ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু ক্যাচ হায়ার স্কোর, যে আর আপনার টার্গেট যদি 7 থাকে আর আপনি যদি আইএলটিএস এর মানে আপনার ইচ্ছে থাকে 7 করা, তাহলে আইএলটিএস লিসেনিং এ আপনার 8 মিনিমাম পাইতেই হবে। বিকজ আমি আগের ক্লাসেও এটা বলছি, স্পিকিং এন্ড রাইটিং এ আপনি স্কোর লুজ করবেন। আপনার যেটা টার্গেট স্কোর থাকবে ওটা প্রবাবলি আপনি স্পিকিং আর রাইটিং এ অ্যাচিভ করতে পারবেন না। ইট উইল বি হার্ড ফর ইউ। So listening is your best option to push your score. If you want 6.5, which I hope you don't, then you have to get at least 7.5 or 8, 7.5 in listening. So paraphrase is important when you want to achieve a higher score. When you read the question twice or 3 times and paraphrase it in your mind. And then the most important of all tips, read all the options. Don't just read the question, read all the option that's given. And কোশ্চেনের অ্যান্সার অনেক লং হয় যখন এটা মাল্টিপল কোশ্চেন থাকে, and অনেক sometimes it's not hard but sometimes it's hard, but read all the option. If you are not good with thinking in your mind in English, then read it in Bangla, read it and then translate it in your mother tongue, but read all the option. It's very important, because sometimes you will miss 1 or 2 word in the option, and then when the speaker will say something similar, you will choose the wrong. যেমন ধরেন আপনার এখানে লেখা আছে যে আচ্ছা আমরা এটা নিয়ে পরে কথা বলবো, বাট অপশন গুলা পড়া অনেক ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আদারওয়াইজ আপনার চান্স আছে যে আপনি মিস করে যাবেন যে স্পিকার কি বলতেছে। এই যে মাত্র যে কথাটা বললাম যে হচ্ছে হলো অপশন সবগুলো চেক করা অনেক ইম্পর্টেন্ট, তার মেজর রিজন হচ্ছে হলো আপনি আপনাকে স্পিকার এখানে অপশনে দেওয়া আছে যে দিস হাউস ওয়াজ ফাউন্ডেড ইন 1923, কিন্তু আপনাকে স্পিকার বলতেছে যে when we start about making the house we thought we will finish it by 1923, but then the construction was delayed and we needed 1 more year, so we finished it in 2 years after. They did not say 1927, 1925, but the answer is 1925, কিন্তু ওরা বলছে 1923। ওরা আপনাকে অনেক সময় অ্যান্সার রাইটটা বলবে, বাট বলেই নেক্সট মোমেন্টে ওরা বলবে যে বাট ওয়েট, লেটস চেঞ্জ ইট আপ, so the correct answer will change, and it will happen at least once or twice in multiple question answer. They will tell you one answer and you will think that this is the right answer, but the next moment they will be like, no, it's we think it will not be possible, can you please change the location, and then they will give you a new location, or they will be like, okay, I can sell it with $5, and there's $5 in the answer pattern, and you are thinking, okay, it's $5, but then the next she will say, I cannot give you $5, I don't have enough money, can you please lower the budget. Then someone will say, okay, what about $4, can you give me $4, and then the answer will be $4. It's very important for you to read all the option that's given, then choose, then when the speaker speaks, listen to it from beginning to end properly. But okay, this might be bad for you if you don't have a good memory. Listen, and when you think the answer is right, ওইটা pick করেন, watch out for the answer that are correct, but the speaker take that way with a different answer. And I'm mentioning it again and again, I will keep mentioning it in every listening class, because this trick they will use multiple times, like singular or plural word, these tricks will always be there. They will say an answer, it can be a phone number, it can be a person's name, it can be anything, it can come into any section. They will say an answer, and the next moment they will be like, oh no, I cannot do this, but what, sometimes it will not be even as obvious as this. Like I said, that this house was we started the construction for this house in 1923, and you're happy, okay, this house was built in 1923, but that's not he said the house started constructing in 1923. The next line he will say something like, okay, but then there was a weather condition, so the house construction has to delay for 2 years, and then it was finished the next year. So there they have added 3 years, and now the answer is 1926. Something like this. Sometimes it will not even be obvious. They will say it such subtly. So you have to listen very, like you have to listen it properly, so you don't miss a word, so you don't misunderstand the prospect of it. Okay, a lot of the student in this class has not done any mock test, so I have thought that we'll first do few mock, like the MC one example for IELTS exam, and then we will discuss about the answer, and we will discuss how we heard the answer, and when you solve it you will also have question. So we'll do one example of MCQ, both single and multiple choice, is from Cambridge listening 16 test 1. So we'll do that one. I have also given the link in the message box, so if you want to do it home later after the class, the whole section, that will be better if you finish the whole thing. But for this class we'll do the MCQ portion, and then after we finish this part we'll talk about the answer, and I will work with you if you have make any mistake, why you made the mistake, and we'll go with it. Okay, okay, we're starting the example part. So if you have, it's the answer will be simple. It's like ABC, so you don't have to write any word or anything. It's just ABC. So choose the right answer. It will be B or C or A. Just pick it. So you don't have to like have anything, type it on your message, and just at the end of the example we will check the answer and we will solve it. So it's not, you don't need anything, you just have to listen what she's saying and put the right answer in the sheet, and we'll discuss it later. Okay.
You will hear the managing director of a company called Stevenson's welcome.
If anyone have any issue with the sound, please let me know. If you can hear it properly, then we are good to go. Okay.
Welcoming a group of work experience students. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Stevenson's, one of the country's major manufacturers of metal goods. Thank you for choosing us for your 2 weeks of work experience. My name is Julia Simmons, and since the beginning of this year, I've been the managing director. Stevenson's is quite an old company. Like me, the founder, Ronald Stevenson, went into the steel industry when he left school. That was in 1923. He set up this company when he finished his apprenticeship in 1926, although he actually started making plans 2 years earlier in 1924. He was a very determined young man. Stevenson's long-term plan was to manufacture components for the machine tools industry, although in fact that never came about, and for the automotive industry, that is cars and lorries. However, there was a delay of 5 years before that happened, because shortly before the company went into production, Stevenson was given the opportunity to make goods for hospitals and other players in the healthcare industry. So that's what we did for the first 5 years. Over the years, we've expanded the premises considerably. We were lucky that the site is big enough, so moving to a new location has never been necessary. However, the layout is far from ideal for modern machinery and production methods, so we intend to carry out major refurbishment of this site over the next 5 years. I'd better give you some idea of what you'll be doing during your 2 weeks with us, so you know what to expect. Most mornings you'll have a presentation from one of the managers to learn about their department, starting this morning with research and development. And you'll all spend some time in each department, observing what's going on and talking to people, as long as you don't stop them from doing their work altogether. In the past, a teacher from your school has come in at the end of each week to find out how the group were getting on, but your school isn't able to arrange that this year.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at
The production never came about in 20 year.
Part 2. You will hear.
Did you guys notice there was a particular amount of time before they started giving us the question? And that time is the most crucial time. You have to listen to what they're saying. No, sorry, you have to read the question and all the option that's given. Then it will be easy for you to look what they're asking even before they start talking. So you know what you have to look for. Okay.
The managing director of a company called Stevenson's welcoming a group of work experience students. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. And answer questions 11 to 14.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Stevenson's, one of the country's major manufacturers of metal goods. Thank you for choosing us for your 2 weeks of work experience. My name is Julia Simmons, and since the beginning of this year, I've been the managing director. Stevenson's is quite an old company. Like me, the founder, Ronald Stevenson, went into the steel industry when he left school. That was in 1923. He set up this company when he finished his apprenticeship in 1926, although he actually started making plans 2 years earlier in 1924. He was a very determined young man. Stevenson's long-term plan.
So the correct answer is C, 1926. When you listen, he first said that Stevenson started working in steel company from 1923, and then he founded the company in 1926. But, however, he started planning for it 2 years earlier, which is 1924. See how the question is happening. They are mentioning every answer. All the options that are given has been mentioned in the question. And she started with that he started the apprenticeship in 1923. Then when he finished it and founded the organization, and she did not mention the word founded. She said something completely different, which was the reason that people will choose the wrong answer. That was the plan for it.
That was in 1923. He set up this company.
They said he set up this company, not founded. So it will be easy for you to miss the answer. That's how they trick you in listening. Listening is the most easiest part of the IELTS, but they trick you a lot. Almost in every question, they will trick you in one manner or other. It can be singular, it can be plural. So try to have a better understanding of the language, and the most important part is practice at home as much you can. Now for the next question, we'll see what she says.
When he finished his apprenticeship, he was a very determined young man. Stevenson's long-term plan was to manufacture components for the machine tools industry, although in fact that never came about, and for the automotive industry, that is cars and lorries. However, there was a delay of 5 years before that happened, because shortly before the company went into production, Stevenson was given the opportunity to make goods for hospitals and other players in the healthcare industry. So that's what we did for the first 5 years.
But see how they mention all three of the options. And see in the question, it says originally Stevenson's manufactured good for. Originally means at the beginning, what they really did for 5 years. That part. If the originally word is moved from this question, the answer will change, because then Stevenson manufactured good for the automotive industry. But like I said, they will tell you all the option, and they will make it like that this is the right question, but they are just tricking you. Here, if the originally is moved, the question answer will change. But because it's here, we now know that it's healthcare industry. At the beginning 5 years, they only did healthcare, and then later they shift to the automotive industry. And now the next question.
Over the years, we've expanded the premises considerably. We were lucky that the site is big enough, so moving to a new location has never been necessary. However, the layout is far from ideal for modern machinery and production methods, so we intend to carry out major refurbishment of this site over the next 5 years.
So see here, answer is quite simple. They did not use much of the trickery. It was one of the easiest question. What was the answer for number 13? See, in here, they did not waste much time. They went straight for the answer. Thankfully, when they originally founded the organization, the place was really big. So they have no plans to move, but they are trying to refurbish it for the modern technology. But they have no plan to move because it's a large enough place. That's how some answer is simple, but some question is just they make it a little bit tricky. Okay, number 14.
I'd better give you some idea of what you'll be doing during your 2 weeks with us, so you know what to expect. Most mornings you'll have a presentation from one of the managers to learn about their department, starting this morning with research and development. And you'll all spend some time in each department, observing what's going on and talking to people, as long as you don't stop them from doing their work altogether. In the past, a teacher from your school has come in at the end of each week to find out how the group were getting on, but your school isn't able to arrange that this year.
Before you hear the rest of the talk,
So you know what to expect. Most mornings you'll have a presentation from one of the managers to learn about their department, starting this morning with research and development. And you'll all spend some time in each department, observing what's going on and talking to people, as long as you don't stop them from doing their work altogether.
If you notice it properly, they're talking about research a lot in the answer stage. Like they're mentioning that you have to do research, not research, but they're using the research word much more. So someone can get confused and think it's time to do research other than talks by stuff, because they mention about stuff at the beginning, like you have to talk with the manager just once, and then the answer goes about like you have to do this, you have to do that, and that's how it will happen. So in the exam hall it will be 40 question, so it's hard to be concentrated for that long, but it will be like this. Okay, আমরা এখন হচ্ছিল এই সেম ক্যামব্রিজ 16 লিসেনিং এর নেক্সট মাল্টিপল কোশ্চেন পার্টটা শুনবো। আপনাদের এই এক্সাম্পলটাতে যাদের মক টেস্ট দেওয়া নাই তাদেরও খুব ভালো আইডিয়া হইতেছে, আর যারা মক টেস্ট দিয়েছেন তাদেরও খুব ভালো প্র্যাকটিস হইতেছে।
Part 3. You will hear 2 students called Jess and Tom discussing their art projects. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
How are you getting on with your art project, Tom?
Okay. They gave us the theme of birds to base our project on, and I'm not really all that interested in wildlife, but I'm starting to get into it. I've pretty well finished the introductory stage.
So have I. When they gave us all those handouts with details of books and websites to look at, I was really put off. But the more I read, the more interested I got.
Me too. I found I could research so many different aspects of birds in art. Colour, movement, texture. So I was looking forward to the bird park visit.
What a letdown. It poured with rain and we hardly saw a single bird. Much less use than the trip to the Natural History Museum.
Yeah. I liked all the stuff about evolution there. The workshop sessions with Dr. Fletcher were good too, especially the brainstorming sessions.
I missed those because I was ill. I wish we could have seen the projects last year's students did.
I suppose they want us to do our own thing, not copy.
Have you drafted your proposal yet?
Yes, but I haven't handed it in. I need to amend some parts. I've realised the notes from my research are almost all just descriptions. I haven't actually evaluated anything, so I'll have to fix that.
Oh, I didn't know we had to do that. I'll have to look at that too. Did you do a timeline for the project?
Yes, and a mind map.
Yeah, so did I. I quite enjoyed that. But it was hard having to explain the basis for my decisions in my action plan.
What?
You know, give a rationale.
I didn't realise we had to do that. OK, I can add it now. And I've done the video diary presentation and worked out what I want my outcome to be in the project.
Someone told me it's best not to be too precise about your actual outcome at this stage, so you have more scope to explore your ideas later on. So I'm going to go back to my proposal to make it a bit more vague.
Really? Okay, I'll change that too then.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30.
Thing, feel were good. I found I could
Project, Tom.
আমি আবারও এটা ছাড়তেছি যেন আরো ভালোভাবে দেখার চান্স হয়, because it was fast. সবাই কি কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার করতে পারছেন?
Part 3. You will hear two students called Jess and Tom discussing their art projects. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
How are you getting on with your art project, Tom?
Okay. Like, they gave us the theme of birds to base our project on, and I'm not really all that interested in wildlife, but I'm starting to get into it. I've pretty well finished the introductory stage.
So have I. When they gave us all those handouts with details of books and websites to look at, I was really put off. But the more I read, the more interested I got.
Me too. I found I could research so many different aspects of birds in art. Colour, movement, texture. So I was looking forward to the bird park visit.
What a letdown. It poured with rain and we hardly saw a single bird. Much less use than the trip to the Natural History Museum.
Yeah. I liked all the stuff about evolution there. The workshop sessions with Dr. Fletcher were good too, especially the brainstorming sessions.
I missed those because I was ill. I wish we could have seen the projects last year's students did.
I suppose they want us to do our own thing, not copy.
Have you drafted your proposal yet?
So this part was question 21 and 22, and one of the problem I faced when I was doing IELTS for the first time in listening, that I didn't know when they stopped with question 21 and 22 and move on to the next question 23 and 24, because they will not stop. It will be just a flow of talking, and you have to understand when it stopped with 21 and 22 and move on to the next question. So what's the answer for 21 and 22? If it's wrong, it's fine. The question was a little bit hard. Now, at the first thing, we know, read the question. That's the most important part. They give you a lot of time to read the question and all the answer. Which two parts of the introductory stage of their art projects do Jess and Tom agree were useful? মানে হচ্ছে in Bangla, ইন্ট্রোডাকশন স্টেজে তাদের আর্ট প্রজেক্টের জন্য কোনটা বোথ টম এন্ড জেস অ্যাগ্রিড যে এটা ইউজফুল। তোরা ফার্স্টেই মেনশন করছে অপশন এ, দ্য হ্যান্ড আউট উইথ রিসার্চ সোর্স, এন্ড দেন জেস মেনশন যে বার্ড পার্ক ভিজিটের জন্য তারা খুবই এক্সাইটেড ছিল, কিন্তু বিকজ অফ রেইন দে কুড নট ডু এনি গুড. It was a letdown because when they talk about the bird park visit, the next line you will listen, if you listen carefully, Jess says that it was such a letdown because it rained that day, so they could not see anything, so it wasn't helpful. That's what she meant. They will not say it outright in your face, they will say it like this: oh, what a letdown, it poured the whole day, we could not see any bird. And then they mention about the National History Museum visit, that they could see all the evolutionary stuff. That means it was helpful. The part is that I have to understand the question first, then you see. But see, they have mentioned every answer here. They said that it would have been great if they could have seen the project from previous years, but then someone else mentions that they only copied stuff. There was no something genuine or new stuff that they could ask help for. So it wasn't helpful. And the workshop sessions was also not helpful. So the only two options that was helpful was the National History Museum visit and the handout with research source. Okay, now we will see the next question. Okay.
Yes, but I haven't handed it in. I need to amend some parts. I've realised the notes from my research are almost all just descriptions. I haven't actually evaluated anything, so I'll have to fix that.
Oh, I didn't know we had to do that. I'll have to look at that too. Did you do a timeline for the project?
Yes, and a mind map.
Yeah, so did I. I quite enjoyed that. But it was hard having to explain the basis for my decisions in my action plan.
What?
You know, give a rationale.
I didn't realise we had to do that. Okay, I can add it now. And I've done the video diary presentation and worked out what I want my outcome to be in the project.
Someone told me it's best not to be too precise about your actual outcome at this stage, so you have more scope to explore your ideas later on. So I'm going to go back to my proposal to make it a bit more vague.
Really? Okay, I'll change that too then.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion,
So most important part আমি ট্রিপসে বলছিলাম একটু আগে, আপনাদের মনে আছে নাকি, that read the question for keyword. এই টিপসটা আমি বলছিলাম, আর এখন আমি বলবো যে এটা কেন বলছি। Okay. See, one of the most important thing in this question is in which two ways both Jess and Tom decide to change their proposal. So এখানে keyword সবচেয়ে ইম্পর্টেন্ট কিওয়ার্ড হচ্ছে both. Jess and Tom both of them, তাদের দুইজনই ডিসাইড করছে যে এই পার্টটা আমাদের প্রপোজাল থেকে চেঞ্জ করতে হবে, নট ওয়ান পারসন। both of them have to agree. যদি জেস বলে যে আমি এটাতে এগ্রি করছি, আদার পারসনের বলতে হবে ওকে আমিও এটা ব্যাকে গিয়ে চেঞ্জ করব। বাট এখানে ওরা পাঁচটা অপশনই মেনশন করছে, এন্ড পাঁচটা অপশনের কোনো না কোনো অপশন তারা বলছে যে রাইট না, চেঞ্জ করবে। কিন্তু অনলি দুইটা অপশনে দুইজনই এগ্রি করছে যে এই দুইটা অপশন চেঞ্জ করতে হবে। প্রথমটা হচ্ছে হলো ফার্স্টে তারা বলছে যে জেস টম বলছে যে ও বানাইছে হচ্ছে হলো টাইমলাইন এন্ড মাইন্ড ম্যাপ, এন্ড জেস এগ্রি করছে যে হ্যাঁ ওও এটা বানাইছে, এন্ড এটা অনেক ফান পার্ট বানানোতে ছিল, ওদের দুজনেরই এটা ঠিক আছে, এন্ড এটা ওদের দুজনের চেঞ্জ করার দরকার নেই। সো নাম্বার ডি ইজ এলিমিনেটেড, কারণ ওরা দুজনই এগ্রি করছে যে এটা খুবই ভালো পার্ট ছিল ওদের ইয়েতে, এন্ড এটা চেঞ্জ করতে হবে না। কারণ আমাদের কোশ্চেনে বলা হয়েছে যে ডিসাইড টু চেঞ্জ দেয়ার প্রপোজালস, এন্ড দেন জেস বলছে যে সে হচ্ছে হলো রেশনেবল করছে, যেখানে টম অনেকক্ষণ ধরে এটা মেনশন করে বলছে যে ওর এটা চেঞ্জ করতে হবে। সো দ্যাটস ওয়াই ইউ গেট ট্রিকড, ইউ থিঙ্ক যে both of them agreed to change their action rationable plan, but Jess never said she will change her proposal. It's only Tom. And the next was by adding a video diary presentation. It's also from the Jess part. So it's the answer is number B and number E. নাম্বার বি হচ্ছে লাস্টে মেনশন করছে যে তাদেরকে স্পেসিফিক হইতে হবে না, এটাতে হচ্ছে হলো জেস কারো কাছ থেকে শুনছে যে এটা ভেগ হইতে হবে, সো এটা গিয়ে চেঞ্জ করবে। এন্ড দেন টমও বলছে যে হ্যাঁ আমার এটা বাসায় পরবর্তীতে চেঞ্জ করতে হবে। এন্ড মেকিং দেয়ার নোটস মোর ইভ্যালুয়েটিভ, এটা বিগিনিং এ তারা বলছে যে তার দুজনেরই এটা চেঞ্জ করতে হবে। দ্যাটস হাউ ইউ হ্যাভ টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড দ্য কোশ্চেন। ফার্স্ট অফ অল, ইন মাল্টিপল কোশ্চেন দ্য কোশ্চেন উইল বি হার্ড, they will not stop in between question. What happened in the single question is just you know that they're coming for the next question. They said when it was founded, then there was a pause, then she talked about which industry they went for, then there was the talk about the work you have to do, there was a balance. You know which question is coming. So you understand it from beforehand. But what will happen in part 3 and part 4, the questioning will be hard. You have to do a mock test in home to understand it better. I will say that this is your homework. Please, I have given the link and I will also provide it in your WhatsApp group. Solve this mock test. It will help you. You will understand. From question 21 to 40, it will be hard. They will not stop between question. You will not know when it was ending of question 21 and 22 and when the question 23 and 24 started. So first look out for this in multiple question, that your 21 and 21 you got it. Nice. Now to move on to the next question. Okay, then comes the understanding the question. Which two part of the introductory stage? So it's introductory stage and their art project, they both agreed that it was useful. And they mention all the 5 topics. As I said, they will mention all the options. And you have to think about the right answer. And then the next 23 and 24, it was more hard and more of you made the mistake because they have added both. In the first question, the both was not there. It was just an introductory stage and Jess and Tom agreed were useful. If they one of them said it was useful, it was useful. They did not use the word both. But in this case, they both were agreed. So there was no question about it. But then the last part, they did it tricklily. That they added both Jace and Tom decided to change their proposal. And you will see that individually they agreed that some of thing has to change. So in your head, that time you will be frustrated or you will be intense and you are not thinking properly or something and you will answer the wrong answer and you will lose a mark. And 1 mark is very important in listening. So read the question first. I cannot stress it enough. I used to be very cocky and I used to think that I don't need to read the question first. I'm good. I can just listen to what they're saying and I can answer the question. That's a very arrogant approach. They know you are sometimes arrogant. They know that sometimes you are in stress and sometimes you're overthinking. So they will add 1 word in your question. And if you miss that 1 word, you will answer it fully wrong. Both of your answer will be wrong because you missed the question. You forgot to see the word both, or you forgot to see the word that useful, and your answer will be wrong. Both of your answer will be wrong. Read the question first. Read all the options. The bird park visit, the workshop session, the National History Museum visit, the project done in previous years, and the handouts with research source. See, they mention the answer E first. That was the first thing they answered, that the handout with research source that was given with all kind of option. And she did not agree at the beginning that it was useful. She said when she received the handout, she was stressed how long it was. But then when she read it through, she understood how useful it can be. That's how the answer will be. So you have to read. So if you do not read the question from before, it will take you time to find out the handout with research source. You will miss it. You might miss it. You might not miss it. There's a chance you're very brilliant. You don't need to read the answer from beforehand. You can just listen to it and you can just catch it. That can be possible. I know some people who got 8.5 or 9. They don't do anything. They just go for the exam and they get out with a 8.5 score or 8. They don't read, they don't do anything. They're just brilliant. They can see the answer and they know. But if you're not that good of a student, if you are a student who is asking for 7 or 7.5, you have to read the answer from before. It will help you. There's literally 60 seconds they give you. It's a very valuable time. The issue that will happen in the question in when you are in exam hall, you will not be able to concentrate. Your brain sometimes just not helpful to you. You might miss something. Don't do that. Go in the exam hall with a fresh mind, with with positive thinking that you will do right. It will be good for you. Maybe you'll but read the answer first, understand the question first, and search for the keyword. The keyword in the first question was useful, introductory stage. So the useful was the handout with the research source, and the second one is the National History Museum visit. They talk about the bird park visit, and then the next line just says that it was a letdown. They talk about the project done in previous years, but then they say that it's not good. because they copied it from previous years, so they cannot use it. They will mention about all the option, and then other person will either agree or disagree. You have to look for the agree one when the question talk about agree. If the question was about disagree, then the answer would have been the bird park visit and the project done in previous years, because they disagreed that it was something. That's something you have to look forward. And the next question, when it was both Jess and Tom decided to change their proposal, the keyword here was both. If the option they decide to change in the proposal, they both have to agree, not one person. If Jess agreed, it's wrong answer. If Tom agreed, it's wrong answer. They both have to agree. So you have to find the keyword. Do any of you have any question? See, another thing I want to say, like, look at this whole
Big black wings which take up
Most seems to resonate.
Answers to the answer sheet.
What will be answer? So you don't even need me to solve it with you. You can finish it and then make your question. And the next class, when we'll sit together, you can ask me that why this question has this answer. And we'll go through it together and you will solve it. In listening, the most important thing is solving the question. If you solve from Cambridge 12 to 16 and you have the resource in your hand, all you need is a piece of paper and your YouTube. You just start it and you go through the whole thing. You can see 28.54 seconds. That's not like you only need 30 minutes to finish one mock test. Just do it at your home and at the end see the result, and you will ask me the question about it. If it's that the portion that we are doing that day, we'll talk about it. It's that easy. Okay, I am telling you all again, if you want to do IELTS and if you want to get your deserved score or your desired score, and you want to leave this country and you want to go somewhere, and you need a good score in listening, you need to practice at home. There's no other way. If you practice at home, it will be speaking. You can listen to a movie. Writing, if you want to do good in writing, you can take the help and you can make a pattern and you use it, that the pattern you will get 6 or 6.5. But for listening, you can score 8.5. All you have to do is from Cambridge 12 to 16, just finish all the practice. That it's 4, so you only have to finish 16. It's 30 minutes per one, so it's not much. It's asking 8 hours for your IELTS listening. If you do that 8 hours of job, you'll get a good score in listening. You have to solve from 12 to 16 every listening. In Cambridge 12, there's 4. Cambridge 13, there's 4. Cambridge 14, there's 4. 4 mock test, finish it, you'll get a good score. If you have any question, ask me. If you don't want to finish, if just finish this one that I have provided the link, and we'll talk about it next class.